What are the top 3 soft skills that employers are focused on at the moment?
There is a huge push towards, and this has been said before, there's a huge push towards emotional intelligence. And that sounds like very broad and airy fairy. So what we call it in recruiters is, we call it, the soundness meter. So, it's Irish slang for being sound, right? So if somebody's likable. But in actual fact, there's a lot of wisdom in that. It doesn't matter what candidate I have, whether they're going in an 80K role or 100K role, or they're going in a 24K role. I can tell when someone's on the phone whether they're going to be a good interviewer or not. And I've actually had people who have gone through the interview process, even when they haven't had all the criteria, just because they're A, enthusiastic, B, warm, and C, let's say, sociable, right? So we're able to create a rapport with the interviewer. To rewind back, sorry, I've lost my train of thought a little bit there. Yeah, the 3 soft skills. So really, I suppose if I were to boil it down, the reason I say that, if I were to boil it down, is that really what you're looking for is the ability to build rapport with somebody. That's so important. From a corporate perspective, I always like to go to the hiring manager's perspective. What I don't want if I'm hiring somebody is I don't want somebody who is really, 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 really good at their job, but doesn't get on with anybody else in the company, because I'm actually going to lose more value in the long term. I would rather hire someone with half the skills that gets on with everybody than somebody who's unbelievable at their job and doesn't get on with anybody, because you're going to cause chaos, right? And you're basically living with people for 8 hours a day, obviously, in work. And so in terms of those soft skills, it's about having that sociability. It's about having that emotional quotient. It's about being self-aware. That's really, really key. And that's got to do with being able to engage and build rapport with other people. And then I suppose, let's say, being sociable to a certain degree. And when I say sociable, it doesn't mean that you have to be a people person, but it just means that you have the ability to engage with other human beings, or if there's conflict that pops up, you're able to manage that effectively. So there's a number of areas. If we were to break it down, just to reiterate, it's sociability, it's emotional quotient, and there's an essence of maturity in there. And those kind of soft skills I think they're the trifecta of what it's going to take somebody. It'll take anybody to go into any role, and I can guarantee that, because I've put people into positions in instructional designers to, data annotators to account managers, and all of them, the best candidates have that kind of trifecta. They're engaged, they're warm, they can build relationships, and they're enthusiastic about the role, as opposed to being nitty-gritty about the salary or really, really focused on the money that's been involved in the situation. So I hope that's a concise enough answer for me. It's very clear in my mind.
It is, absolutely. And it's incredible how your answer very nicely relates to what I work with people. The main subject that I'm focusing on is how to connect with others. Because if you really be able to connect with them, they'll be able to listen to you. Tony Robbins said, people like them. The key thing is you'll be able to connect with them much better. And that's why I put such a great emphasis on preparing to the interviews, knowing who you'll be talking to, and talk to your recruiter to get as much information as possible so you can create those connections. And I remember I had one client with a social anxiety disorder, and she wasn't able to talk at all on the interview. She was paralyzed. So that's the great thing that I can help those people, because we practice and practice and practice this question until she created this new neural connections that she was able to answer those questions. She secured the job. And that's the key thing. We not only need to know how to answer, we need to practice those answers. We need to get the feedback from those answers. So when we get there, as you said, and that's what I think is also a great thing when people prepare before approaching recruiter or even going to interview, that they're practiced, they're really well prepared, because our careers takes more or less 8 hours of our day. It's a big part of our life. So it's worth this investment of time to making sure that we treat this with the seriousness that we should. Because very often we go by quantity, not the quality. And it's nice that you emphasize you need to know what you want. And creating rapport and working on interview skills is one of the key, especially communication skills, one of the key focus that I work with my clients. That leads me to a third question.
Feel free to join our LinkedIn group. Hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you.